Testing and annealing found steels for making forged knives. William Hovey Smith, 2016. I am the owner and founder of a new company, Hovey's Knives of China. And here are a few of the new innovative designs we have produced that are based on ancient patterns from thousands of years ago. This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman. Today we're going to continue the Billy Joe Rubidoux series of knives made from found steels. This is one of my Billy Joe Rubidoux designs, and this happens to be a chef's knife made from a piece of a 150-year-old scythe blade. In particular, this is an old point from a lawn cultivation tool. It is very much rusted, and we're going to see if we can make some paring knives out of these two wings. We may not be successful in this case because this has been actually lying out in the weather for more than 20 years, and it's seriously starting to rust, delaminate here. So there may not be enough sound metal in this piece to actually make the knives we're looking for. We're going to test it and give it a try. The second thing we're going to build is a rib chopper from this piece of lawnmower blade. Now, lawnmower blades are made of hardened steel. We know that for a fact. This is a high carbon steel. But we don't know much about its characteristics. Plus, it is already hardened, and that means it is extremely difficult to forge. You risk cracking it by taking it through the forging process if you don't get it up to the correct temperatures. So what we're going to do is to take this and another piece of steel that I need to heat treat and put it in the oven, anneal this steel to bring it to a soft condition, so then we can actually work it on the forge and form it. Because we're going to change this into quite an interesting shape. It's going to have a hook on one side and an edge on the other. And ultimately designed for chopping ribs off deer and other carcasses, as well as wood and anything else that isn't needed but chopping. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do with these. So we're going to get the oven started and heat treat another knife whilst we are at it. This one has already been ground. This is my aspen leaf skinner, and it's ready for heat treatment. Now this will need to be wrapped in foil and to keep it from oxidizing during the treating process. And then when we get through with the heat treatment, it'll be ready for handling. A foil envelope is bent over double. Now we'll seal it. And that will go far towards preventing scaling on the knife steel itself. We now have the two knives in the oven, so we're ready to program it and get it going. While the oven is heating, we're going to apply some pressure to this scale layer and see what happens. And it's quite brittle. I'm not sure there's enough sound metal in there to do anything with. A few strikes with a hammer should tell us. Okay, let's see. something left in there. Maybe that will do. Next, the grinder. There may be enough sound metal in here that we can forge. If it sparks good, that's a good sign. Yeah, there's definitely metal in there. In the meantime, our oven has climbed up to 1400 degrees, which means that long big piece of steel is probably heated thoroughly enough to anneal. I'm going to take it out of the oven and I'm going to put it down in a pan of ash and cover it up and let it slowly cool. And that will allow the grain to enlarge and the entire piece of steel to soften so I can work it easier. But first you turn the oven off, because you can electrocute yourself if you do not. If you touch these live electric coils with anything steel. Okay. Lift and remove. Alright, you can see that it's quite warm. Lay it down and we cover it up. Well, our hardening temperature has been reached and is completed. So now it is the time to take it out. We're going to turn it off, remove it, and we're going to put it on an aluminum plate and put another piece of aluminum plate on top of it. In that way, we'll get a proper cooling to give a very hard product in that particular steel. Open, rather wider than usual to give you a view. Grasp the work, take it out, put it on the aluminum sheet. And put its cover on. This cover will help prevent the blade from warping. We can now unwrap our foil and cover our leaf skinner here. So how we did. Looking good. Yes, sir. Okay. Yep. That will polish up without much of a problem at all. Let's see how it does on the file test. That's good. The file does not want to bite on it, so yeah, we got it hard. We've now put the other piece of metal in the oven. The idea, again, is to get that piece of steel hot enough that we can take it out and put it in the ash as well, and then have it anneal and actually lose hardness and lose brittleness so I can work it in the forge more effectively. It certainly got plenty hot, as you can see. I'll let them both get well covered and just sit there until morning and do their thing. It has been 4 hours, and now we're ready to see how our cooling process is done. Yeah. The ashes are cool now, at least on top. You can now see the steel. Most of the rust has actually come off right here. But this is what we have to work with. Here. Our other piece. Right there. The scale of the oxidized metal is sloughing off. So as much of this as I can get off means the less deleterious material I'll actually be pounding back into the metal when I start forging. We've now wire brushed this blade, and we're going to use a brass rod that's 3/16 inch for pins. So we've mic'd it and we're ready to go, and we'll see how easily this drill penetrates and if our de-hardening process actually worked. Okay, we're through. So we've accomplished our aim. We've got something that we can drill and we can work now. So now we'll see if we can use this wire brush to remove some of this additional scale. We've now completed our metal preparation steps for forging the items we're after. This is going to be our rib cutter, and we've put our index hole here. Now this is going to index the entire rest of the design of the work. But the steel, yeah, the steel is good, it's drillable, I can work it. It might not be quite as soft as I would like, but yeah, I can work with this. This piece is still somewhat in doubt. The sound metal in it is getting pretty thin on the edges, but this is a small knife. I'm going to have to use all the material up to here to do what I want to do with the handle and the blade itself. It's very, very irregular on the surface, as you can see. For a paring knife, you want a smooth side, not a very, very much pitted side like this. So it's going to be touch and go if we can actually salvage your blade from this piece. But I think we'll still be able to make it. So for now, this is Hovey Smith reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe. Goodbye, God bless, and see you next time. This is another look of some of our innovative Hovey's Knives of China knives, and also a pair of our Billy Joe Rubidoux knives, including a rib flipper top and a forge cleaning tool on the bottom. Now here is a bread knife, also made from a section of that scythe blade. I am the author of Backyard Deer Hunting and other outdoor books, like Extreme Muzzleloading, Crossbow Hunting, Practical Bow Fishing, and also a series of business books, including ideas for new businesses on how to found your own $1 or billion-dollar business. And here is a blurb about me and about my book. Now, there is always a risk with working with found metals. You don't know what their characteristics are, and they may not be hardenable. Most often one is able to make something even if it wasn't what you originally intended it to be. For more information on Hovey's Knives of China, you can go to the website here. For information on my 500 videos, you can go to www.hoveysmith.com. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye and God bless.